All right, so in this video, I'm gonna give you some do's and don'ts about painting clouds. All right, welcome to Paint Coach. My name is Chris Fornatero, and I'm here to help simplify oil painting so that you can get better faster. I see a lot of my students paint clouds, and I see a lot of the same problems over and over. In this video, I'm gonna be addressing those problems and show you what to do instead. All right, so I did a painting where I tried to do as many of the bad things that I see people do with painting clouds, and I'm gonna use that as a reference to another painting that I did of a cloud and show you what not to do and then what to do. So the first part of the video, I'm gonna be comparing those side by side, and then after that, I'm gonna walk you through how I painted my cloud. All right, let's jump on in. All right, so the first thing I wanna talk about here are values. So I'm gonna pop these actually into black and white. All right, so actually the most common problem I see people have with clouds is that they make the darks in the clouds too dark. You can see that's happening here. This dark down here is just way too dark. And over here, I've put it in a lot lighter. Now, this is a very easy thing to get wrong because when you're looking at a cloud and you're only focusing on just the cloud, you're seeing the shadows only compared to the lights of the cloud, which is gonna make them seem very, very dark. That's why it's always important to step back and look at the scene as a whole and be comparing how everything is relating to each other, and you'll see that the darks in the clouds aren't as dark as you think they are. For example, if I was looking at this whole scene over here, I can see that this land at the bottom is definitely darker than this dark in the cloud. Same thing goes for the light values in clouds. You can see in this one, I actually went to pure white, and I did not in this one. And even the amount of really light values is a lot smaller in this one than this one over here. You always really want to avoid using pure white in your clouds. I know they're white clouds and the sun can be hitting them and they can look bright and perfectly white, but trust me, always add something there, some yellow ochre or Indian yellow, maybe a little bit of blue, a little bit of burnt sienna or something to knock it down just a little bit. It will still be reading as very, very bright. And if it's not reading as very bright, then double check the dark shadow values of your clouds, because that might mean they're not dark enough. I know I just got done saying don't make your shadows too dark, but you don't want to make them too light either. It's a fine line. You have to kind of finesse and dial in the right value. All right, now let's talk about form. And you can see on this one that all the lights on the cloud are on the left side because the light source is coming, the sun is shining from this side, and it's hitting this side of the cloud. And all of the lighter values make sense, and they're organized in a way to better portray the form. Same with the shadows. A lot of the shadows tend to be on the right side here. So as I was painting this and bouncing around from different colors and different values, I was always keeping in mind the form of the cloud and thinking about the light source just as if I was painting a still life and this was, an apple with a light shining on it. I'm keeping the same thing in my mind. You can see over here, there's a little bit of form, like up here, the light value seems to be on the proper side, but down here, it's just kind of random. There's no real rhyme or reason to the form. And I see a lot of this happen when people go about painting clouds by kind of sponging their bristles of the brush against the canvas, and they're more worried about texture opposed to form. I mean, you can still create form putting in the paint that way, but I just find it more difficult, and a lot of times people's focus is in the wrong area. So I don't recommend kind of doing the old Bob Ross fan brush clouds like that. Something else to be aware of with form when it comes to clouds is that the bottoms of clouds a lot of times are going to be flatter than the tops of clouds. Also, the darkest shadows are going to be on the bottom. They're going to be underneath where not as much sunlight is getting it. And that's actually one of the few things that this one does have going right for it, which is the darkest shadow is here at the bottom, and the bottom is relatively flat. All right, now let's talk about edges. That's how you're going to portray the texture of a cloud. It's not going to be necessarily by, dabbing and sponging your brush and getting it that way as much as edges. You can see here, all the edges are very harsh edges, and there are some harsh edges, in this one here or there, but a lot of them are very soft. You can see that there's not as big a difference between the cloud and the sky here. I kind of let the paint blend together. I let some of the sky show through the outer edges of this cloud where it was thinner. Always be thinking about your subject and what it's made up of. You know, this is made of water vapor. It's not a solid object. If I was painting a boat down here in the water, you know, that was close to us, that would be painted with a lot more harsh, you know, sturdy edges because it's a solid form of a boat. You know, you also utilize soft edges in trees a lot of times because trees are made up of a whole bunch of leaves, and a whole bunch of leaves isn't a solid form. They're moving in the wind. Light and air is getting through them. So this is actually another technique that can help with painting the edges of trees, is using softer edges. All right, now I want to talk about atmospheric perspective. And, you know, as things get further away in the distance, you know, we got some other clouds way in the distance here. First thing is values are going to change, and the difference between light and dark values are going to get closer together. And you can see down here, there's still light and dark values, but they're nowhere near as far apart as these values in the cloud in the foreground. That actually wasn't done very well in this one. You can see the darks are still pretty dark and the lights are still pretty bright. They're very similar, if not, you know, the same as what's going on in the cloud in the foreground here. Also, certain colors are going to drop out. A lot of the yellows, kind of the warmer colors in the lights of the cloud here, are going to drop out, and you're going to get more pinks into the lights of the cloud. You can see like a lot more kind of pinkish purples happening in the highlight sides of the clouds. And you can see this a lot of times when you're outside, especially if you put on sunglasses and you look at clouds that are far away in the distance. They'll have a lot more pink in them than clouds that are closer to you. All right, so the first thing I do is I put in my darkest dark here at the bottom, again remembering not to be too dark. Now I'm using relatively thin paint to block out the base color of the cloud, not going too dark and not going too light. It's kind of an average value. Now I'm putting in the sky because I want to have that in there to help make decisions on the cloud. It's also going to help with doing my edges. You can see here I'm letting paint blend in together to create these soft edges in certain areas. Now I'm going in with a slightly lighter value, not my lightest value, but a little bit lighter. And again, I'm paying attention to form here as I put this in and making sure it makes sense on which sides and parts of the cloud are going to get hit with more light. Now I'm actually finding a value that's in between this light value and the darker value I put in before. Also, take note of my brush work here. I'm not going just one way with all my brush strokes. I'm mixing it up, which is gonna help give it a softer look. If all my strokes were going in the same direction, that can give an object a very solid look, which I don't want for clouds. Now I'm going in with an even brighter value, still not even close to pure white. And I'm still adhering to form. I'm thinking about always creating the proper form of the cloud. Now as I move to the clouds further in the distance, I lay in the darkest value first, which is nowhere near as dark as the darks in the cloud in the foreground. It's also going to be a lot cooler of a color. And as I put in the lighter values, they're going to have a lot more pinks in them instead of yellows. This is atmospheric perspective and is going to help sit it further in the distance. And some finishing touches, getting some skylight reflected into this cloud a little bit. And there you go, a nice, perfect, puffy little cloud. All right, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see what I'm painting on a daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram at Forza43. I'm Chris Fornatero, here telling you to go get painting.